everyone, and welcome back to The Manage Her, the podcast where we shine a light on the invisible work of women and reframe it as leadership. I'm your host, Aimee Rickabus, CEO of Tomahawk Information Solutions, mama of 6, and author of The Manage Her, unveiling women's invisible work and sparking a leadership revolution. And today, I want to have a deeper conversation with you. Just us. No guests, no small talk, just real talk. I believe, now more than ever, that every woman carries something powerful inside her, a spark, a purpose, a quiet fire. And sometimes we don't even know it's there until life presses on us and we realize, this matters to me. I was made for something more than surviving. So today, we're going to talk about why the invisible work you do every day is a form of world-changing leadership. How to find your spark, even if you're exhausted, overwhelmed, or unsure. What your purpose might actually look like in real life, not Instagram life. And how tiny acts rooted in love can ripple out farther than you'll ever see. This is for the moms who haven't slept through the night in years. This is for the women building empires from their phones in between laundry loads. This is for the caretakers, the change makers, the ones who wonder if what they do really matters. Let me say this loud and clear. It does. Chapter 1, the invisible work that runs the world. Let's start here. Let's name the truth. Most of the work that women do in the world, it's invisible. And in The Manager, I call this the shadow economy of women. It's the work that's done off the clock, outside of the spreadsheet, behind the curtain. It's the meals made, the school forms signed, the mental health management, the silent prayers whispered while rocking a crying child. It's caregiving, it's emotional labor, it's the work of seeing and being for everyone else. And for decades, even centuries, we've been conditioned to believe that this labor is secondary, supportive, soft. But if you've ever managed a family calendar, navigated a health crisis, or kept your household afloat during an economic uncertainty, you know it's anything but soft. It's strategic, it's adaptive, it's powerful. It's what I call domestic executive functioning. And here's what I realized. The skill set that helps us thrive in the home is the same skill set that's needed to run companies, lead teams, and build movements. We've just never been told that those talents count. That's what The Manager is all about. It's about making the invisible visible. It's about drawing a direct line between your unpaid labor and your leadership potential, because the minute we reframe the work, we reclaim the power. Now, I want to talk about the idea of the 1-degree shift. We get stuck thinking that if we're going to find our purpose, we need to take a giant leap. Quit our jobs, move to another country, start a 501c3. But most of the time, the path to purpose is much quieter. It starts with a whisper, not a roar. Maybe you've been through something. Maybe you've seen something you can't unsee. Maybe your own pain has become a doorway into compassion. I want to share something I didn't include in my book, a story from a mom in our community. She went through a traumatic birth with her second child. It left her physically drained and emotionally shattered. But months later, once she healed, she started showing up at the hospital once a week just to sit in the NICU and hold other people's babies who didn't have family present. That's it. No big announcement, no fundraising, just love. That is leadership. That is purpose. That is how we move the world forward, 1 degree at a time. And here's the magic. When you take that one small step, doors start to open. You meet people, you learn things, you find that you're not alone. That spark becomes a calling, and that calling becomes a contribution. Let's talk about careers and callings and how they don't have to be separate. In The Manager, I share stories of women who turned their personal struggles into professional pivots. One woman, a former makeup artist, had a child with oral motor issues. She was spending months researching, advocating, and eventually became a certified myofunctional therapist. Today, she runs a thriving practice and helps families just like hers. This didn't start as a business plan. It started with a need. It started with a mom who refused to give up. I want you to hear this if you're in a season of survival right now. You don't need a 5-year plan. You need presence. Stay present to your life. Stay open to the moments that make your heart burn and your voice shake. Your career can evolve out of your calling, but only if you give yourself permission to care deeply, to follow curiosity, to explore what you might be good at, even if you've never done it before. We all start somewhere. Usually somewhere messy, I've explored how leadership doesn't always look like a title. Sometimes it looks like a meal dropped off at the right moment, a Google search in the middle of the night, a question asked with love. And most importantly, we unpack the idea that our unpaid labor is not just valuable, it's vital. Today, I want to take that foundation and go even deeper. We're going to talk about burnout and boundary setting and how we can reframe rest as a responsibility, the power of community rituals and why tradition is a revolutionary act, how our personal healing creates global ripple effects, and what it really means to be a change maker in today's world, even if you feel like a hot mess most days. Let's start with burnout. I don't know how a single woman who hasn't walked the edge of exhaustion or fallen straight into the fire of it. In The Manager, I have a whole section dedicated to this. It's not labeled burnout, but it's everywhere. It's in the overwhelm, the multitasking, the martyrdom, the invisible expectations that pile onto our shoulders until we're crushed by the weight of trying to be everything to everyone. Here's the truth. Burnout is not a personal failure. It is a cultural consequence of chronic overexhaustion and chronic underrecognition. And yet, we're still made to feel like we should just do better, meal prep more, meditate more, manage our time better. But burnout doesn't get solved by doing more. It gets solved by getting seen. When you feel seen, truly deeply recognized, something shifts inside of you. You remember who you are beneath the performance. You remember that rest is not a luxury, it's part of the job. So if you're listening to this and you're running on empty, this is your permission slip to do the one thing that replenishes your soul. Maybe that's a walk alone, a nap in the middle of the day, or just saying no to something that's good but not aligned. As I wrote in the book, you are not here to be consumed. You are here to create, and to really lead, you have to protect your energy because your life depends on it. Let's talk about something that often gets overlooked in leadership conversation, and that's tradition. One of the most beautiful parts of my own life has been the Seaside Sisterhood, the community of women who surround me in my neighborhood. We have traditions, the bunny stomp, Christmas caroling, chili cook-offs, Golden Girls Bunko. These aren't just fun events, they're anchors. They're culture keepers. They are moments that build belonging. They are how we mark time and say to one another, you're not alone. And here's what I believe. Ritual is resistance in a world that's constantly trying to isolate us, rush us, divide us. Gathering with intention is a radical act. Saying we will show up for each other, even if it's just once a month, over themed cocktails and laughter. It's how we heal the collective nervous system. So if you've ever been the one to organize, plan, cook, decorate, or simply invite, you are doing holy work. You are the glue, and the glue is leadership. In The Manager, I call this domestic diplomacy. The unseen work of weaving people together, of creating safe spaces, of holding joy, even when life is heavy. So let's stop minimizing it. Let's honor it. One of the things I say over and over in my book is the most powerful revolutions start in the smallest rooms. Your living room, your child's hospital room, your classroom where you volunteer, the break room where you ask someone how they're really doing. When you heal something in yourself, when you answer a call, when you move toward the pain instead of away from it, you create a ripple, and that ripple can turn into a wave. Some of the guests we'll be featuring on this podcast have taken their own pain and turned it into global action. Women who work with organizations rescuing children from sex trafficking, mothers who became practitioners after navigating rare medical issues with their children, leaders who coach women through hormone health, burnout, and identity loss, healers, artists, entrepreneurs, caregivers, all of them driven by spark and service. The mission is not about being everything. It's about choosing one thing that lights you up and stepping towards it. That's how we move the world forward. Let me close with this. You are a change maker. Whether you're leading a Fortune 500 company or a Girl Scout troop, you are shaping culture. Whether you're donating $10 a month or starting a nonprofit, you are investing in the future. Whether you're posting resources on Instagram or quietly helping your neighbor, you are standing for something. You don't need credentials to make a difference. You don't need a perfect life to start helping others. You don't even need clarity. You just need to be willing. willing to move 1 degree, willing to trust your life, willing to believe that your story matters and that someone else is waiting for your voice. So I'll ask you again, what is your one thing? What's that spark? What's the shift? What's the next faithful step you could take? Take it today, quietly, gently, boldly, because that's how we change the world. Thank you for being with me for this very personal episode of The Manager. If this message resonates with you, share it with a friend, leave a review, or better yet, let it move you into action. You are not behind. You are being prepared. I'll see you next time.